doing this video because quite a few people have stated that they want to understand. If I can help even one person understand, my goal is accomplished. I don't want your sympathy, pity, sorries, or anything else. If you get it, support the movement. First, let's address all lives matter. Yes, all lives do matter, and I support that. But currently, it's not about all lives, or even black lives. Systemic racism doesn't just affect black lives, but all minorities who aren't white or of white background or privilege. You argue that white people have been brutally murdered and beaten. You're correct, but I will ask you to make a list of all that you know which did not have justice served. Yet make a list of all black lives you know which did not have justice served. Remove blinders, because there's currently a list moving through social media. Make a list of white and black people murdered for wearing a hoodie at night. Make a list of black and white people murdered for jogging, freedom of speech, or just for being black or white. Make a list of how many times you were pulled over for a random traffic stop and feared for your life. How many times have you woke up out of your sleep in terror because your son was coming home from work and shot and murdered by police after being pulled over for fitting a description? I know your list won't be long, if you can make a list at all. This is what the Black Lives Matter movement is representing. It's easy to say, be the change you need, but being black in America allows white America to put extreme strain on being that change. 100,000 black voices versus 1 million white voices causes oppression and restricts our ability to move forward. The harder we fight, the more oppressed society and people of authority become. Oppression, in case you need the definition, means to burden with cruel or unjust restraints, subject to a harsh exercise of authority or power. Get rid of the unjust restraints and the abuse of power and authority. That's what we're asking for. That's what we want. We want to be equal. We want to not have to wake up screaming in terror because our sons are being murdered just because they look like somebody they thought committed a crime. Our son, we don't want to be out here fearing every time we see the lights of a police car behind us, not knowing if we're going to get through that traffic stop alive or not. Get rid of the unjust restraints and the abuse of power and authority. This is what's happening, and this is why there's nationwide protesting. Now imagine you're at your child's funeral who was brutally murdered and taken away from you. Someone, or even you're speaking on behalf of your child's character and what they will never get a chance to experience. Suddenly someone stands up and says, yeah, but all lives matter. Chew on that for a bit. Was it extreme? Yes, but systemic racism is extreme. And that's what you make us feel like when you come back with, but all lives matter. Now, to be completely transparent, I'm going to share a few stories from my own life. And I'm a black woman living in a world with systemic racism that affects me just the same as a black man, just the same as any other minority out here who can't move forward because of the oppression. In 1994, I lived in Biloxi, Mississippi, and my 19-year-old brother came to live with me in Biloxi, Mississippi. He made friends I didn't approve of. Him and one of his friends like the same girl, some craziness, whatever teenage boys go through. And they were going to meet in the parking lot to talk it out, fight it out, whatever the case may be. Well, apparently it didn't go as planned because the other guy showed up, pulled a gun on my brother. My brother took off running. While he was running, a barrage of cops came out of the bushes and anywhere else that they could come from that they could have possibly hidden. And they filled him with over 22 bullets. 13 of those bullets were in the bottom of his feet. For what reason did they have to shoot him? None. He didn't commit a crime. He didn't have a weapon. He posed no threat to no one. Not only did he not pose a threat, he did not deserve to be shot on the bottom of his feet. To this day, justice has not been served. With NAACP trying to help, you name it, we did it, we tried it. No justice. We're in 2020. I work in a casino where I come across a whole lot of different people, different personalities, different attitudes, different beliefs. I'm used to it. Doesn't bother me. Actually enjoy my job. One day I'm at work doing my job, dealing, and I have a player look me square in the face and say, "Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a nigga by his toe." Yes, it pissed me off. Pissed me off to no end. Did anybody protect me? Was there a supervisor, a manager, a police officer? Anybody? No. Nobody protected me. As a matter of fact, they attempted to discipline me for exercising my right to not entertain that individual any longer, as well as attempt to write me up with a list of other things. I don't appreciate it. I exercise my constitutional rights, and I'll do it again for as many times as I need to, because you and nobody else get to talk to me that way, and I have to accept it. Living here in Maricopa, Arizona, I have a 27-year-old who at the time was 16, just now getting his driver's license. Him and his friends drove to the basketball courts to play basketball. All of them were black, except one. And I'm not going to say he was white because he's Polish, but his skin color is white. And while they were at the basketball courts, they got stopped by the police, questioned of their purpose, their intent, why they were there, where they were going, how long they were going to be there. And the young man who was not black got questioned by the police on whether he was being kidnapped, whether he felt safe. Were these guys hurting him? Were they forcing him to do something he didn't want to do? And I, as a black mom, had to talk all of those young teenagers off the ledge of racism, including the one who was not black, especially the one who was not black. He didn't understand. He didn't know why. He couldn't figure it out. All he knew was that they wanted to play basketball. That's it. But they went through this. Then they've been through this since. And it doesn't stop. And it's just not just me. It's not just my boys. It's millions and millions and millions of minorities out here who are suffering through this, who cannot move forward, who cannot grow, who cannot do anything, but yet are constantly told, dig yourself out of it. If that's what you want, if you want to be better, then do better. White America doesn't make it possible to do better. White America doesn't make it possible to be better. There's always a drawback when you're better as a black man in America. I hope I was able to help you understand better what Black Lives Matter is all about and why Black Lives Matter is taking place, but it's well overdue. It has to happen, and you're either going to be part of the problem or part of the cure. Thank you.